team will be back on my team again. We'll all be very critical of the Biden economy, of the deficits under Biden, of the big government spending under Biden. I mean, problem is, though, the Republicans that are still in office, they won't have any credibility as the opposition when they try to push back against the deficit spending. It's just going to look like, pure hypocrisy, having just been, deficit cheerleaders when they were Trump's deficits. It's hard to then be against them when they are Biden's deficits. But at least, I'm looking forward to that, to less hypocrisy and less frustration. But, as an American, I would like to see Trump win, because it would create a little bit more hope for me that Americans are not voting for Biden. And there are a lot of Americans who are voting for Trump who really believe in less government and more freedom. It's just that Trump didn't deliver on that. But they at least believe in that. Even if they don't have that from Trump, at least they can pretend that they're getting it from Trump. But so I'd like to see more Americans not taken in by the false promise of socialism. It would be interesting to see what type of support Trump could get if he actually was a champion of individual liberty and freedom and limited government, if he actually tried to cut government spending and unleash free market capitalism, and if he really campaigned on individuals and the rugged individual and what made America great, what made America unique, and what made American citizens unique among the people of the world, the degree of freedom that we have. And freedom is freedom from government. That's what freedom is all about. It's about the government leaving you alone so you can do what you want to do. You can pursue your happiness in the way that you see fit without the government trying to micromanage your life and telling you what you can do and what you can't do. That's what made America great. It was the absence of government, right? All the things that Biden wants to do are the reasons that other countries weren't great, is because we weren't doing those things. We had a lot of freedom, and Biden wants to take away that freedom and replace it with government. And people think that's good because they're confusing free stuff with freedom. I don't want anything for free. I don't want any free stuff. I want to earn whatever I have. And everybody else should want the same thing. And to the extent that people are unable to do that for themselves, for whatever reason, then their fellow Americans should be free to give them a hand, to help them out, which is what Americans do, which is what Americans have always done, is help out people who are less fortunate. The problem is when you assign that function to government, then it doesn't get done. And instead of helping people out of poverty, government traps people in poverty. But I don't want to, digress to that. I want to just, stay on the topic here. So I would like to see Trump win, as much as I still think he's going to lose. I would be pleasantly surprised if sometime tonight or whenever, if Trump wins. Now, as far as the markets, right? Look, I think my investment strategy is going to do well and ultimately come out on top of any other strategy, regardless of the outcome of this election. I mean, I think we're on the Titanic, and, we've already hit the iceberg. I mean, it doesn't matter how we rearrange these deck chairs. I think the Titanic will sink quicker under Biden and with a blue wave and, Democratic clean sweep. So I think that the results will be more apparent quicker under that situation. So I think the dollar will fall faster. I think gold will rise sooner and more if the Democrats have a clean sweep. But I think the dollar is going down regardless. I mean, the dollar's fate has been sealed. Gold's going up. The U.S. stock market, I mean, look, the real value of U.S. stocks are going down. No question about it. The market is extremely overvalued. Taxes are going up. That's a negative. Regulations are going up. The U.S. economy is going to be less dynamic and less competitive under Biden. Is it possible that nominal stock prices will rise? Sure. The nominal price of everything is going to go up because the dollar is going to collapse. We're just going to keep on printing money, and the value of that money is going to go down. And so if you want to buy something, you're going to need more money to buy it. That would include stocks. But don't allow inflation to fool you into thinking you're richer than you really are. Inflation makes you think you're rich as you're getting poor because you look at these numbers. Oh, I got all this money, but then try to spend it and see how much everything costs. And at some point, the government is going to blame that inflation on all sorts of boogeymen. But the only culprit is the Fed and the government that is, creating all these deficits that the Fed is monetizing. But I think that once we get the outcome known, because I think there is a lot of uncertainty in the markets, and so traders are placing their bets. But I do think that once the dust settles, I think the outcomes are negative for the US dollar, positive for gold, and negative for the real value of US stocks. Doesn't really matter what the nominal value does. It's the real value, and that's the stock price in gold, which is headed much, much lower. I know I mentioned Bitcoin earlier. I don't know how the election is going to impact Bitcoin. I don't even know if it matters. I just think Bitcoin's a bubble, and I don't know if the election is going to be the pin that pops it again or if it's going to be something else. But eventually that thing is going to come collapsing down. But at least for tonight, it seems to be trading in the same direction as everything else. So it's not, negatively correlated or non-correlated. It is exactly correlated to every other market. At least that's how it's been trading recently. And so, maybe it will continue to do that until it breaks free. And I ultimately do think that you're going to see a divergence between gold and the market. I do expect gold to go up as the market goes down. And I expect the dollar to go down as the market goes down, or foreign currencies to go up as the market goes down. So I do think that those links are going to break. Just like when Donald Trump unexpectedly won in 2016 and the stock market went up because the market expected the voters expected, or investors expected the market to tank if Trump won, and they were wrong. Trump won and the market went up. It tanked for, I don't know, a half hour. But then the market went up because Trump policies are better for stocks than would Hillary Clinton's policies have been. Well, I think the reverse would be true this time. Be careful what you wish for, traders who are hoping for a Democratic clean sweep, because that is bad for the stock market. More regulation, higher taxes, very bad for the economy, very bad for stocks. The only good news for the market is that it's bad news for the economy. And bad news for the economy guarantees more stimulus that help the markets and not the economy. But I don't think stimulus is enough. I think if stimulus is the only leg, the market will topple, because I don't think that's enough to support the current valuations that we have. But anyway, let me go and grab some of the questions. And I'm trying to pay attention, to the television to see, what's going on. But anybody too, if there's some big news that I missed, you can, feel free to chat it out to me or something. But so first question is coming from Robert Hebert. Can both gold and Bitcoin benefit together from MMT? Look, gold will definitely benefit from modern monetary theory, right? And if you don't know what modern monetary theory is, MMT, it's just money printing. Modern monetary theory is what they did in Zimbabwe. It's what they've done in Argentina. It's what they did in the Weimar Republic. So there's nothing modern about it. I mean, we've had hyperinflations for a long time. It's not even a theory, because at least if you have a theory, then maybe it could work. If you know for a fact that it doesn't work, then it's not theoretical, right? So the whole name is a misnomer. It's just monetizing debt. It's the idea that we can have whatever we want if we print the money to pay for it. It's sheer asinine. But of course, that's exactly what politicians want to pretend is true, because that's how they play Santa Claus, right? They get to give you all this government and pretend it doesn't cost you anything. But will it be good for gold? Absolutely. It will be good for gold. It can be good for Bitcoin to the extent that people are dumb enough to buy Bitcoin instead of gold. And so people could react to more inflation and money printing and a rise in the price of gold by buying Bitcoin. They've done that in the past. But the difference is the price of gold is going to keep going up. eventually the price of Bitcoin is going to crash. When? I don't know. I mean, I still think that we've seen the highs. I don't think we're